So on today's Card Academy lesson, we're going to be going over a fairly strange, almost manipulator-like color change. Now this is something that I first saw done by Bill Malone in the context of an ace routine, but I think it's a very novel change and one that could be used in many different ways as we're going to cover in this particular lesson. So let's just go over it and show you exactly what I'm talking about. So the color change looks like this. We show the participant the card and we wave our hand over it, and of course nothing happens. But we show the participant the card one last time before we wave our hand, and we could actually cause that card to change. No, really, the card changes. Now from the back, you could actually see why I call this the manipulator color change. However, what I like about this is that it looks a little bit odd. We could actually take advantage of that because the participants think that I'm actually palming the card off, but really I'm actually placing a card on it. So as I do this action where I show the card one last time and it looks like I'm palming off the card, really that's when the color change is taking place. So I think there's a lot of merit to this particular idea. So the action is as follows. I'm going to show you guys from the exposed angle. We're going to hold the deck in what would be this high mechanics grip. So you can see that I'm holding with my finger tip here in the background of my left hand. Now I'm going to wave my right hand in the front and I'm going to carry on this action so the participant can see the card one last time. Now as I carry on this action, this is actually when I'm doing the move of the trick, which is using my forefinger of the left hand to push up on that card from the bottom. Now as I push up on that card, I'm actually pushing it up to meet my fingertips of the right hand. So when they actually clip together, I could actually take the card. Because of the pressure of my forefinger and my right hand pushing against the card, I could actually take it in what is a palm position. So right now you can see that palm position. That card is there, ready to be palmed and ready to be added on top of the deck. And of course, this is taking place as I'm showing the participant the card one last time. Now here, I'm going to come back and deposit the card on top of the deck. But I like to come in with the card in apparently a palm position now. So really, you've already done the palm and you've already replaced it, but you're simulating the action of almost taking the card and putting it in your hand. This is what I love about this particular change. So you can see what's actually happening from the back here, and it's almost a reverse palm action because right now I'm showing the card to the participant. I'm depositing the card on the actual deck and then simulating a palm as if I'm taking a card from the deck, but really I'm putting a card in the deck. It's a very interesting action because we're doing the reverse of what expectation is. So from the front, you could actually see how it looks like. It just looks like I'm showing the card one last time and then apparently palming it. And then I could show my hand to be completely empty and the color change actually to take place. Now, if you have a face-up card on top of a face-down deck, we actually simulate the action of a taking of the card. So you could take advantage of this because now instead of a color change, we actually get a vanish. So we do the color change as we've done before, as we've taught it here previously. We apparently take it in the hand. And now instead of the card changing, the card actually vanishes. So at this point, we could actually show the palm and say, no, really, the card is gone. Now, this color change is definitely not for everyone. It's definitely going to be a very character-based thing. So if you like doing the sort of stuff that engages the participant where you try to make them think that maybe they got you, or you want to get them in a sucker trick where you're pretending to apparently palm the card off of the deck, this is definitely going to be a great one because it is, I would say, a novel handling to say the least. It's definitely one of those things that some people would look at and scoff and go, yeah, I'll never be able to do that. But if this is something that catches your fancy and it's something that you think you could do, then definitely do it. It's a fun one and it definitely plays up on the participant thinking they caught you. Some color changes are weird, my friends. Some color changes are weird, and this is definitely one of those. When I first saw this, I'm like, what? How is this? But then in playing around with different ways to do it, I found that I really enjoyed this because of that fact that it looks like you're palming a card out of the deck. And I think this is another lesson in and of itself. Sometimes you're going to learn a move that you initially don't see any value in, but then later on you could come back to that move and then see it in a different light, see it with more experience, and then actually turn it into something that you enjoy. When I first learned this color change, it was just done as a straight color change where you show the hand, you then rub it, and you could then show the color change to immediately happen. But I found that when you actually do this very weird handling and you come off as if you're palming the card and then you show your hand empty, that has a more profound effect because it's almost like the participant thinks they got you and then you show them, no, you didn't get me. Now, another thing you could actually play around with is to push off two cards. Now, this is a slightly more advanced handling where you are pushing by feel. So essentially you are pushing two cards and then catching those two cards in your hand. So when you actually do the color change, now you have the ability to take the card off of the deck and actually show the participant that the card has really changed. What this does is that now you have this cover card covering the initial color changed card. And that gives you a little bit more of a display here where you could show the card, take it out of the deck, and the participant really is wondering where that other card went. If it didn't go in the palm, if it's not behind a card, or did the card really change? So that's another handling that you could play around with, but it's definitely a finicky action because it requires for you to learn how to push 2 cards off with just the pressure of the forefinger. So that's a little bit rough, but if you're up to the challenge, that's definitely an alternative handling. But that's the movement. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, weird. There are certain color changes and things in the lore of Magic that are weird and odd, and this is one of those. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for being part of the PigCake Magic Academy, and I hope to see you on the next lesson.